That was insane. Nick Nolte's rhythm is insane. Like, there's no... like, I am almost convinced that he wasn't actually in the room with the people clapping. That's how off rhythm he was. We in.
Hey guys.
What's going on?
Girls.
Bro, we are fresh off recording our Avengers Endgame episode. We just saw Avengers Endgame this morning. Me for the second time, you for the first time. We watched some Warriors Rockets. We're about to watch Game of Thrones right after we record this. Today is lit.
Yeah.
What's going on? We're feeling good.
So many things. Dude, I got fucking homework I got to do after too.
Shut the fuck up. Homework. Damn. Busy day.
Yeah.
Busy day.
Rough.
What should we talk about? I don't know why I said that so weird. You want to talk about playoffs a little bit? What do you want to do?
Let's start off with the trailers that we saw.
Oh, okay. So there's a couple
Endgame.
new trailers that came out this week, and they both played before Avengers Endgame. The first is the Chadwick Boseman vehicle.
Right.
21 Bridges.
It also has the dude from...
Keith David?
No, not Keith David. It has
It does, though.
That's not who I was referring to.
You're talking about Stephon James?
Yeah.
Stephon James. And
the guy
Taylor
who was
Kitsch.
in Beale Street.
Homecoming. And If Beale Street Could Talk.
Right.
And Taylor Kitsch, Tim Riggins, is the other cop killer in the trailer. I feel like it's a matter of time until Stephon James plays a superhero. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's got the vibe. And he's young.
Fuck, I wanted to bring this up during the Avengers episode that we just did. Anyways.
Is there any way for you to say it without it?
Nope.
Okay.
That's a spoiler.
All right. We recorded for over an hour and you didn't get it in?
Well, because I was like... I don't know.
Anyway, tell me after. It's fine.
What did you think about that trailer? About this 21 Bridges trailer?
I'm half and half on it.
Okay.
It could be good. I could, I'm definitely interested in seeing if it's good.
It reminded me of like Savages a little bit. I don't know if you ever saw that movie.
It sounds familiar.
So Savages had Taylor Kitsch in it,
Okay.
as well as Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay. Good actor. Aaron Taylor Johnson is a very good actor.
And Blake Lively. And
nice.
It was, I forgot who directed it. But it was basically like the three of them, and it also had Benicio del Toro.
Ooh, very good actor.
Wait, was it Benicio del Toro? Oh yeah, Benicio del Toro and Selma Hayek.
Oh, okay.
Right. But basically,
Is this like part of the Sicario universe?
The three of them, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Taylor Kitsch,
And Blake Lively?
were all in like
The White Crew?
No, they were in like a relationship, all three of them.
Ooh, hot.
Together, and that was like sort of like the hook almost,
Yeah.
like of that movie. But
They're in a throuple?
Yeah, but it was very. The third act was weird, but it reminded me of 21 Bridges a little bit, and how it had like certain things where I was just like, I want to see that. Like I want to see like the specific.
I want to
thing and how
see
it plays
Chadwick
out.
Boseman all the time.
Mhm.
Chadwick Boseman is awesome.
One thing is the cast.
Yeah,
the cast is
and he's
really
doing
good.
like a New
Same
York accent, and I was like, ooh, like in my mind, right? Because like we're so oversaturated with Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa right now,
Yeah.
and he does the African accent. But if you think about other things he's done, he was Jackie Robinson. He did that accent. He did James Brown, and he did a wild accent.
Which a
for
lot of
James
people
Brown.
criticize that Jackie Robinson thing.
That
Apparently-
movie.
Yeah, because apparently Jackie Robinson had a super high pitched voice, and he didn't do that.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember that movie, but I remember being like, oh, I'm enjoying myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have like this weird thing with Jackie Robinson from like writing a book report when I was a kid and being like, I love Jackie Robinson, even though I know literally nothing about baseball or him. But it's weird. Anyway, like Chadwick Boseman is a super dope actor and very good at chameleoning, being a chameleon. And then like I don't know, like Stephon James, up and comer I really like, and then like I just keep wanting Taylor Kitsch to do something good, you know?
Other than Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, but since he was the perfect Tim Riggins, I heard this on a podcast recently. Somebody was talking about movies, and they were like Taylor. They said they were talking about somebody else, and they were like, this person is a great actor, but they weren't a good something else. I don't remember who they were talking about. And then they were like, on the inverse, Taylor Kitsch is not a good actor, but he's a great Tim Riggins.
Right.
He's just perfect for Tim Riggins and nothing else.
Yeah.
But like I like him so much because of him being Tim Riggins that I keep wanting him to be in something where he's really good. Mm-hmm. So whenever I see him in a trailer, I'm like, oh, come on, Tim Riggins, you can do it. So, hopefully he's good in this. But yeah, there's there's a little bit of like over the top silliness to this trailer, right? Like when Keith David's like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "We're gonna shut down the bridges and we're gonna close the rivers and we're gonna block the tunnels and we're gonna flood the island with blue." And I'm like, ridiculous. Okay, calm the fuck down. All right,
it's ridiculous, but that's also one of the big things where I was like, I want to see it.
No, yeah, well, it's fucking that. Batman Begins.
Is it Begins?
Kind of. Well, Dark Knight Rises.
Dark
I guess,
Knight Rises
is more,
is more what I was
Batman
thinking.
Begins is the asylum, and yeah, so it's more like Batman Begins where everything gets blocked. Yeah, but yeah, and I was like, that's so cheesy, but like.
All right,
I'm kind of into
Show
it.
To me.
Yeah, I have no idea who seems to be the lead female. I don't know who she is. The one that's like, I heard you were the guy that kills cops. She's doing like a weird accent.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, I had no idea who she was.
I don't remember her face.
Yeah. 21 Bridges. It's a maybe. Big old maybe. Like if that movie came out and it was like a 6.1 on IMDb and like a 35 from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, I would not be surprised.
Well, like that movie could end up being like Miss Bala. You know what I mean? Like,
yo,
like a movie that just like
that's a bad trailer.
I just don't have any interest in it.
None.
You know what I mean?
None. No interest.
Yeah.
Yo, how did that movie end up being? I gotta look. I have to find out. Miss Bala. It's a horrible title. 5.3 on IMDb. Anyway, the other trailer, which I don't know if this is the first time you saw this. I had watched.
Yeah,
it was
it was
already on my list. 21 Bridges wasn't, but I had. Since I saw the trailer, I was like, we can talk about that. That's interesting. But this one was already on my list because it's super interesting. Mm-hmm. Will Smith starring in Gemini Man from Ang Lee. Directed by Ang Lee. That boy. What do you think about this trailer?
So are you getting like any kind of like Uncanny Valley kind of with
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so Uncanny Valley is like the this idea when you're looking at something that's fake. And it's like the valley, the gap in between your realization of this thing being real and this thing being fake. Like it's a valley that you cannot cross in order for something artificial to become completely canny.
So are you talking about
uncanny.
what the way young Will Smith looks?
Yes. So
no, I don't have that. When I saw the trailer, I was like pretty impressed with the way technology works.
It's impressed, but there's a
fake looking sheen to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
there's something
like,
that makes you not buy it for what it is.
But to me, it kind of makes me even a little more interested because of the way they talk about him as a character, the way that they created him and stuff.
Yeah,
and
like
I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And he looks like too perfect.
He also has like that high top fade.
Yep, he has the fucking. He looks like Will Smith from the '90s.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Just
like
kind of fun.
Marvel is constantly flexing with this shit now. Like.
Yeah.
We see that in every Marvel movie, them flexing out.
Yeah, just
like,
happened.
Let's look at the way people look when they're younger or older. And they're just like, we can constantly do this. And it's getting better and better. And it's weird because if you go back a little further than that to like the first of the new Star Wars movies and the, what's his face, the general guy with the reflection in the mirror. No, that's Rogue One, I think. And his reflection in the mirror, and it just doesn't look good.
Right.
And it's like, you could have done this entire shot without doing the reflection.
Yeah.
And it would have been a cool scene.
Yeah.
It's just like your technology isn't quite there yet. And then like the next year, Marvel rolled out and they were like, look what the fuck we can do. Mm-hmm. We do it in every movie. And so in this, putting that in Ang Lee's hands, who's like a truly visionary guy, Ang Lee, he's a fucking amazing director. And he's going to start throwing weird Will Smith fighting Will Smith shit around. Also, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who I really like. I think she's really great. And fucking Benedict Wong doing his thing, rolling up in there. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I'm into it. This is a movie that I'm definitely going to want to see. Plus, like, do you feel like Will Smith has been on too long of a downturn and we need a
good Will Smith movie?
We need a good Will Smith movie.
What is...
I mean, hey, it might be Aladdin at the end of the month, but based on what seems to be going to be happening, that's probably not it. Probably not. Are you going to ask me what the last good Will Smith movie was?
I would argue to say that a majority of Will Smith's movies are below average.
Interesting. There was a period in time where Will Smith was the biggest movie star.
What do you think is the best Will Smith movie?
The best or my favorite?
Either.
Ooh, I love The Pursuit of Happiness.
I would argue that the best is Pursuit of Happiness.
We both got there.
Yeah.
That's sweet. All right, I'm gonna look
That
at
movie's
his
fucking
thing here.
incredible. I also like.
So-
I think that 7 pounds is underrated.
I love 7 pounds.
yeah.
I own
7
7
pounds was
pounds
fucking
back home.
panned, man. Look at the Rotten Tomatoes for 7 pounds is
Not good. No, I love that movie.
It might only be 7.
No, I'm gonna run you through his filmography.
Go ahead.
His last film he was in was Bright. Bright is, I've said this before. People who hate it too much, and people who love it too much. It's not very good, but it's not very bad.
Yeah.
He's not the problem though.
No.
And that's the thing. A lot of these Will Smith movies, he's not the problem.
I would agree.
Collateral Beauty. I never saw it. It looked interesting when the trailer was up, but then it got super panned.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Nope.
What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad? Focus. I like Focus. With Margot Robbie?
Oh,
I liked Focus.
I watched that.
Why are you saying that so confused?
Because I was like, I don't know what Focus is, and then
Yes,
I
you do.
realized
Yes,
that
you do.
I know what Focus is because I remember seeing it now.
Yeah.
I think I watched that movie with Ella.
Focus is hard to talk about in a non-spoiler episode. Very twisty movie. I enjoyed Focus.
I did not.
No?
No, I thought that movie was obsessed with. Now that I'm remembering,
It's obsessed with... Yeah, that's the thing you
It
said.
is
I remember you talking about that.
obsessed
It's
with its
obsessed
own
with
twists.
twists. Yeah. Concussion. Never saw it.
Never saw it.
But what's the line he says? Oh, there's a line in the trailer that he delivers in that accent. Oh, I wish I could remember. Something called Winter's Tale. Is that the movie where he...
What
plays,
is this?
like,
Some
an
kind of
angel or
concussion
something?
squad?
Holy shit, who did he play? I remember this. Dude, I'm remembering all these trailers for these Will Smith movies and getting really sad about it. After Earth. We're back to 2013.
Apparently, After Earth's better than what
that
critics
movie got
said.
hella panned.
Yeah. It's M. Night Shyamalan.
That's
it's
a
not gonna,
4.8 on IMDb.
Yeah, it's M. Night Shyamalan. It's not going to get a lot of.
Anchorman
love.
2 doesn't really count because he
No.
just plays like a
cameo.
bit role.
Yeah.
Men in Black 3 was good. I enjoyed Men in Black
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, was a resurgence of other.
But also,
Men in Black
like, not a super good IMDb grade. Then we're at 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Dude, this is making me
I
sick.
like 7
Okay,
pounds, but it's
it has a
critically panned.
7.6 on IMDb.
7 pounds.
Yeah, that's
Look-
a good. That's
Look at
solid.
the Rotten Tomato score.
Then I gotta go open another app and
But,
shit.
dude,
We're at Hancock now.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to reach Will Smith's fucking
Prime.
the peak of Will Smith movies. Get ready. So before Hancock was I Am Legend.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I Am Legend is good.
Yeah. It has its moments.
Dude,
I like.
do you remember?
It's definitely the best of the I Am Legend movies.
How many are there?
3.
What?
Yeah. So okay. So you know what I Am Legend is, right?
About zombies?
Yeah. It's fucking zombies, dude. But there's been 3 movies that have been based off of the same novel.
No,
which
I
was
had no
originally
idea that was a thing.
Which was originally called I Am Legend.
Okay.
Right. The 3 movies that were made are The Last Man Left on Earth. I think it was, and that was a Vincent Price movie that was made a long time ago. The second one was a movie called The Omega Man with Charlton Heston. I've seen that movie. I haven't seen the first one with Vincent Price, but The Omega Man, Charlton Heston, garbage ass movie. And then the third one being Will Smith's I Am Legend. It's definitely like I don't know the source material very much, but the Charlton Heston one was like just vastly different, and it had like a lot of annoying shit that just really bothers me in movies.
Okay.
This is how the movie starts out, right? You know how like Will Smith's like working out and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Jacked Will Smith.
Movie starts off with Charlton Heston like running through like depopulated New York or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right? And then he stops, look at his watch, and he goes 4-minute mile. Right on time.
No, stop. No, enough
He
of
says that to himself.
Yeah,
dog.
stop that. No, he says it to the audience. Let's be real.
That's whack.
That's that shit where you're like, can you at least pretend that your character doesn't know they're in a movie? You know what I mean?
I hate shit like that.
You were right. 7 pounds is a 26 from the critics. 75 from the audience. Its critics' consensus says grim and morose.
Yep.
7 pounds is also undone by an illogical plot. I haven't seen 7 pounds in a long time, but I remember I liked it.
I remember after seeing that movie and being like, what is the illogistical part of this movie that everyone keeps talking about?
Yeah.
And this is
We have to do an
7
episode
pool.
on 7 pounds or
Yeah.
something, but
But I disagreed with it. I didn't think it was.
So I Am Legend, The Pursuit of Happiness, Hitch.
Hitch is good,
Dude,
Hitch is good, but it's also bad.
do you know
Hitch
my
is a
history
bad-
of Hitch? I saw
No.
Hitch for my birthday party at a drive-in movie theater. That's fucking prime Kyle life, dude. We had a gummy bear war in the
I've never
back of
been
the
to a
van.
drive-in movie theater.
They're fun. They're cool.
Hitch is one of those movies that's like
It's a
while
cute
you're-
movie.
While you're like it's a fun romantic
Yeah.
comedy. There's like all of these things that like your family is going to enjoy, but it's not a good movie.
No, it's just
and it's
cute.
like, but it's also one of those things that I think that script is why that movie is so good, as well as like the camaraderie between Kevin
James and
as
Will
well as
Smith,
Will
yeah.
Smith. But the script, I fucking really like the script for that movie. I actually sat down and read it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what was
Solid.
before that? iRobot.
Huh?
iRobot.
I liked iRobot.
iRobot's solid.
iRobot also.
Dude, I
based
feel like
off of a
iRobot could be
sci-fi
rough
book.
to go back and watch. Just like, look at that image. That CG might be crispy.
Yeah.
Crispy CG. Shark Tale.
I actually enjoyed
I
Shark
liked
Tale.
Shark Tale when I was younger.
I enjoyed Shark
Bad
Tale.
Boys 2. Men in Black
I
2.
liked-
Ali. Ali's fucking good.
I've never seen all.
Ali's fucking good.
It's good?
He's great in it. Wow, dude. Wild Wild West is better than people think. We watched it.
Until the third act.
Yeah, until the third act.
Until the third-
then it's,
third act,
then it's worse
things
than
just
people
get-
think. Wild
it's
Wild
weird.
West has really good stuff in it.
Yeah.
Enemy of the State, never saw it. I'm really deep now though. This is like when Will Smith was a
Enemy of the
superstar.
State's fun. Him, Gene Hackman. It's like a fun thriller.
Like
movie.
now I'm in Men in Black, Independence Day, Fresh Prince, Bad
That's-
Boys. Like this is the prime.
that's
of,
prime.
This is when he exploded.
Will Smith.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. He has 8 upcoming projects. One of which is Aladdin, Gemini Man, the animated film Spies in Disguise, all come out this year. Bad Boys for Life in 2020. That movie is happening.
Bad Boys for Life.
That movie is happening. Then he has a bunch of other movies.
I like the Bad Boys movies.
4.
Bad Boys, dude. That's a pretty fucking quintessential Will Smith role.
Dude, he's playing Venus and Serena's dad in a movie about tennis called King Richard. Weird. I don't know anything about their personal life, so I don't know what that entails. Yeah, I just want, I want Will Smith to bounce back, man. I love that dude. He was like my favorite actor growing up.
Have I ever like talked about that before? About how like much my personality was like
Formed by the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
by Fresh Prince. Like a majority of what
Not
my
really.
personality
And,
was.
like I think part of it leans into because you went to a predominantly African American elementary school
Yeah.
at JD Parker.
Uh-huh.
Shout out. JD Parker.
JD Parker.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I don't think you really have, but you can.
Well, yeah, like
Feel
it was
free.
just I said it, whatever.
I don't know. Like, it's
Will
kinda
Smith's
weird, right?
movies, like I don't. None of them are like really that bad though. Like
No, he
what's the
makes, like,
worst-
Good, like average to good. He kind of hangs around in. But like the thing is, he's usually good.
Below
In, like
average
he's
to
usually really good. Though.
slightly
You know what I
above
mean?
average.
Like usually Will Smith is like the thing that makes a movie better than it should be.
right.
You know what I mean?
I'd agree with you there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting though, because like me and you both really liked Fresh Prince growing up, but for different reasons. I feel like,
Why'd you like
or
it?
like different.
How
Because it's
did you
fucking.
like it?
What do you mean? It's fucking awesome.
How
Why do you
did
think I
like
liked
it for different reasons?
I don't know. Well, from different environments, I think. You know what I mean?
No, not really.
Like you grew up around the sort of like African American culture more than I did, just from the area you grew up in, the school you went to.
Yeah.
Like I went to a private Catholic school for elementary school.
Yeah, but I don't think that's why I liked Fresh Prince.
No?
I don't think that really influenced a lot.
Oh, okay.
I would say that like why I loved basketball so much was a
Okay.
lot of that. Why I liked rap music a lot was a lot because of that, and R&B and stuff. Because that's what I was seeing a lot of. Like I was always playing basketball a lot when I was going out for recess and stuff. Because that's just what a lot of kids my age were doing.
Yeah.
And when I was going to like after school stuff, I was playing a lot of basketball.
Kids were listening to fucking R&B on the bus and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have a Walkman
I
or a CD player?
No, I had a CD player. I
Yeah.
think that was the first thing. I had a CD player.
Dude, I remember that I got a CD player once. I think it was for either my birthday or Christmas, and I had like this backpack it fit into, and it had like a little thing I could put the wire through for my headphones, and I have a very vivid memory of bringing it to the airport
Right.
and being like, I'm gonna be good for this whole flight because I've got my CD player.
right.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Fresh Prince is just awesome. That's why, it's weird. Like I would watch like the Fresh Prince, but like alone in my room, like really late at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I also think that like I watched more Fresh Prince when I was in middle school than I was watching.
I think I was in high school
elementary
probably mostly when I watched it.
Because I remember getting off the bus in middle school and then coming home, and it would always be on TBS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you see that he made like a little YouTube video with the dude who made that Bel Air short? The dramatic reimagining thing that we talked about.
Right.
He made like a YouTube video where he basically like talked to the guy about his inspirations and like how he thought the idea was really cool and how it lined up with his real life kind of. Like he talked about how Fresh Prince of Bel Air was like kind of a big parallel to him and Will from the show, because it was his, like, while Will got sent to Bel Air, he kind of blew up from the show and he was able to get out of Philly like around a similar time that friends of his growing up were like getting killed and getting into gang violence and stuff like that. And it was like, it's pretty interesting. Will Smith has like a very, almost like a rock-like quality on social media where he's very like upbeat and inspirational with the things that he posts and puts online. I like that about him. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that, like the Rock kind of aspect of it.
Well, the Rock is like, it's just because he's an animal. He's just constantly like uber positive and working super hard.
Right.
Will Smith will like literally just like, he'll put an Instagram story where he just sits down and talks to the camera for like, so like a bunch of whatever those length of those clips are and just give out life advice and shit. He's interesting. He's an interesting person. I don't know if there's any other trailers that came out this week. Every time I see that Godzilla trailer, though, I'm like, this movie is going to be...
How many different trailers? Because I don't remember...
There's like 3, I think.
I don't remember that exact version of... Like, maybe I'm just forgetting...
That trailer is new. That's from this week. The one with that song with Over the Rainbow.
Over the Rainbow. It's like, yeah.
It's from like it's from this past week.
Yeah.
But every time I see the shot of Mothra in the waterfall, it takes my breath away.
The Over the Rainbow, like that theme, the song itself works really well, like up to a certain point. Mm-hmm. When it reaches the climax of what that trailer is supposed to be, it doesn't resonate with me because I feel like it's too positive, and then the juxtaposition doesn't sit well.
Well, there's weird things in the trailer too. They like splice in weird jokes from O'Shea Jackson Jr. and stuff that don't fit the tone of the trailer. Yeah. Like when he's like, "Oh man, that's super weird." Mm-hmm. It's like, and who's the dude? Who's the fucking guy that goes Zilla? That guy's. I want to see the movie just for him. I know who he is, but I can't think of it. He says they literally say, Ghidorah and Mothra and something, the last name, and then he goes, "Oh my." To go with the fucking theme of playing Over the Rainbow. And it's such a weird joke to put in the trailer. It's so weird. Who's the other monster? King Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan. So they go Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan. And he goes, "Oh my." And it's like completely cut from a different scene. Yeah. And they just splice it in there. And then later, Kyle Chandler goes, "Oh my God." And they cut in immediately him going Zilla. It's just so weird. But I kind of love it. And I'm like, how weird is this dude in this movie? It makes me want to see it more. Mm-hmm. Mostly I want to see that movie just to see giant monsters fight. That's going to be awesome.
Also Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, we know how you feel.
Dude, she's amazing.
You know what she's really good at? She's really good at screaming.
I was going to say emoting without saying words.
Yeah, screaming. She got a great scream.
Yeah.
Do you think?
What else she hasn't done anything other than Stranger Things up to this point, right?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
All right.
Do you think that the first movie suffered from like too much storyline from the people?
What do you mean?
The characters in the movie. So I don't want to like spoil the movie. Do you remember the first one with Bryan Cranston and Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen?
Yeah.
A big complaint about that movie was that we basically followed them around too much. And it was like, people were like, I don't care about them. Show me more Godzilla. Uh-huh. And that's a big thing you see people talk about going into this movie. It's like, I don't want to follow the people around. I just care about the monsters fighting. And part of me
can't do that.
Part of me is like, it's not even a movie. Like, what are you making? Like a weird music video at that point? Like, put some weird rock and roll behind it and you've got a kick-ass music video.
Like what like show me a
good movie with no characters.
I would love some genius character to be like, this is a Godzilla movie where Godzilla is actually the main character. I would love for someone to pitch me that fucking movie because I want to know what it is.
Yeah, it'd be hard to do, right? Mm-hmm. Although it looks like from the trailers of this movie that Millie Bobby Brown is friends with Godzilla, and that's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Right.
That's clearly why she's crying in that one trailer, because Godzilla's fighting and she's sad.
Yeah, for sure.
She misses her friend.
That's like Godzilla's Max Holloway, and she is Max Holloway's
Son?
daughter, or son.
So Godzilla's her dad, not Kyle Chandler? Oh, man. That's even crazier. Were there any other good trailers that...
Yo, give me a fucking TV show just with Millie Bobby Brown and fucking Kyle Chandler, and that it's just a daughter...
You mean...
father...
Sip your lid. You mean bring back Friday Night Lights and she plays Alien Baby? She's probably around the right age.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's probably around the right age. Holy shit! What did you just do to me? Stop. Oh my god. They could do that.
Mm-hmm.
She's too famous.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's already got...
She's making movies and shit.
Yeah.
Damn, though, that'd be cool. Could you imagine? Every time someone talks about bringing back Friday Night Lights, I'm like, stop. Don't do this to me. Like, Connie Britton is always like, I'm down. Let's fucking do it. And Kyle Chandler's always like, nah, I'm good. I want to do other stuff. He's like, I made, what's that show on Netflix called?
Bloodline?
Yeah, Bloodline. I've only seen season 1. Very good. What's his face is amazing in it. Kyle Chandler's very good, and Ben Mendelsohn, very, very good in that show. But he's like, I'm doing that. I'm being in movies. I don't gotta be Coach Taylor forever, but you're so good at it. Oh, I love it. There was something about when I saw Avengers the first time, seeing the Star Wars trailer on the big screen, that like made it more hype for me. There's something about Rey doing a flip over a fucking spaceship that's so cool on a big screen. I can't remember if there's any other trailers that are good. Like, I feel like we got an above average amount of good trailers before that movie.
Yeah.
Did you notice that the Spider-Man trailer didn't play?
Yeah,
that's weird.
Intentional, right?
Yeah, because like they're, I guess, being like, maybe the people who are here to see Endgame don't know that there's a Spider-Man movie, so we don't want to spoil that. That's weird.
I mean, they could have pulled an okey doke and fucking Far From Home's actually like a prequel.
Oh, that'd be crazy. That'd be wild. Except, yeah. Anyway,
how much of a fuck you would that?
That'd be nuts if they were like, here's Peter in his freshman year. That'd be really weird. All right, no more of this. Let's talk about sports. You know what was interesting? That Rory thing I played right before we started this.
Yes.
Rory McDonald fought last night in Bellator. They're doing a welterweight. You know how they do their tournaments throughout the year thing?
Yeah,
they do that weird tournament thing. And he's the current champion.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And he's fighting through the tournament or whatever. And he fought to a majority draw with John Fitch last night. And afterward,
John Fitch still at it, dude.
Yeah, still at it.
Damn.
And he gave a very revealing post-fight interview about his mental state. And it was really interesting.
He's found God. Has he always been
That
super
was the
religious?
less interesting. No, I don't think so. But that was like the less interesting part of it to me. But I think it kind of fueled the way he feels, right?
I mean, I don't know what...
Lots of athletes talk about finding God. Tariq Hill probably said
that
it.
seemed
like,
different, though.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, he said that, but then he was fueled to like this idea where he was like, I don't know how I feel anymore about hurting another man. Like, he literally doesn't know if he can do his job anymore because of the way he feels.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like he can cause another human being pain.
Yeah.
And he felt like during the fight, he couldn't pull the trigger. And apparently there were moments in the fight where Fitch was hobbling and Rory just didn't close the fight. And Rory is one of the nastiest motherfuckers. Don't ever forget the Robbie Lawler fight. Don't ever forget that shit. It's one of the best fights ever. Mm-hmm. When they just stood there after the bell rang and stared at each other. Both of them gushing blood. Rory's nose mangled. He's a bad dude. But there's something about these Canadians, man. They're too sweet for their own good.
Right.
He's got a little that little GSP thing in him where GSP's always been like, I don't like hurting people. Mm-hmm. But he's always been able to kind of like compartmentalize that, right?
Yeah.
And go in there and be efficient and do his job. Rory seems to be seriously hampered by his mental state. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If he feels that way, he should just retire. He doesn't owe anyone anything. He's been a professional fighter since he was 16.
Yeah.
He doesn't owe anybody anything.
True.
But he's supposed to turn around and fight in 7 weeks for this tournament thing. Against, I think, one of the
Is he under?
Gracies.
He's under
fighting
contract.
one of the Gracies. I'm sure he's under contract.
Huh.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's weird.
Was it Neiman Gracie? Is that one of them? Is that what he said? If anything, he could go into a Gracie fight and like, let himself get submitted and be like, "Oh no, I'm out of the tournament. I guess I can't hurt anybody anymore."
Or he is just like, oh well, I'm just gonna make it a jiu-jitsu match
just
now.
roll with him, because it's way safer.
Which one of the Gracies did he fight?
I think he said Neiman, but I don't know if that's a real
Neiman.
Nieman. I would guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was super interesting. Because do you ever take a step back and think about being a fighter and how just wild you have to be?
Mm-hmm. How brutal it is.
The brutal you have to be, to be able to do that to people.
Mm-hmm.
It's hardcore. I've always really liked Rory though, and I hope just whatever he feels good doing, I hope he does it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that Brendan Shaw brings up a lot. He's like, you should know when your career is over when you kind of have one foot out the door.
Yeah,
because you can't do that shit.
Yeah. Yep, you're gonna get yourself hurt.
Yeah. Well, and that there's fucking the Kamaru Usmans of the world that are just hungry as fuck.
They're gonna destroy you. Yep.
They're just gonna come in with that fucking eye.
Honestly, though,
that spirit, that undeniable will.
Getting drowned by Kamaru Usman for 5 rounds wouldn't be as bad as letting Khabib get his mitts on you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
because Khabib's gonna hurt you. He's gonna finish you. Whereas the Usman Woodley fight, he just grinded on him for 5 rounds and just manhandled him. But he wasn't as brutal as Khabib can be.
I mean, I wouldn't want.
No, you wouldn't want either, obviously.
I wouldn't want either. I'd probably. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. Khabib's, it's more brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But at least Khabib's gonna say some semi-nice things to you. While
That's true. Yeah. A little conversation.
He's gonna persuade you to quit.
A little conversation during the fight. Stop trying.
You know I deserve this.
What weird trash talk. That's such weird. If you're trash talking someone and the objective of your trash talk seems to be pumping yourself up, that's so weird. I deserve this. That's hysterical.
I'm the champion.
Did you hear about the Tariq Hill stuff?
No.
You know who Tariq Hill is?
Football player.
Receiver on the Chiefs.
Right.
Tariq Hill has been under investigation for the past few months, probably, for being accused of domestic assault to a child, his own child.
Okay.
This is extra bad because before he was drafted by the Chiefs, he slid in the draft pretty far. He was a first-round talent that didn't get drafted that high.
Right.
Because he was caught on camera physically abusing his pregnant girlfriend. Okay?
Okay.
Horrible.
Right.
Horrible. Now, he had gone through the legal ramifications of that and everything, and had been he had done things to rectify it and stuff like that. And I think they were still together. I'm pretty sure. And I think she might have never actually wanted to press charges. I think that might have been kind of how he got away with it a little bit. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, he ended up getting drafted by the Chiefs, and they were very vocal when they drafted him about being we want to be a place where we can help him become a better man and all these things. And now he's 4 years into his NFL career, and this comes out about his kid. And it goes through the legal ramifications again, and less than a week ago, the cops were we are not going to press charges. There's no evidence that he did this. We can't prove that this happened. So we're not going to charge him. And then 2 days later, an audio recording came out of him talking to, or what is, it's not proved yet, obviously, because it's audio, but it seems to be him talking to his girlfriend and her talking about what he does to the kid and how the kid is afraid of his own father. He's 3 years old. He's afraid of his own father. Whenever he cries, he apparently punches the kid in the chest. And then the girlfriend said, "He's afraid of you." And then Tariq Hill responded, "You should be afraid of me too, bitch."
Okay.
So this all happened 2 days after the police dropped the case. The Chiefs found out about it, and they were we are barring Tariq Hill from coming to any offseason activities until we learn more. And the police, I think, were like, we're reopening this, obviously, because this is new evidence. To me, somebody like that shouldn't have the privilege of being a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be caught abusing women and children and be on that, you know what I mean? It's just so fucked up.
Right.
It's just so wrong.
It's such a because I feel like in the NBA, do you feel like it's definitely like there's less of a
there's a much higher problem of violent people
behavior
in football than there are in other sports, I would say, for the most part.
What would you attribute that to? Would you say
I think you have to be a certain type of person to be a football player.
Right.
I think that's part of it. You got to be a little crazy.
I think
You got to be a little violent to be a football
player.
player.
But it might also be like how fucked up people's brains are getting too.
It could be. I don't think there's a way to prove that yet with science, but it could be. I'm not going to say you're wrong. But I think that fighters have the same thing.
Haven't they already been kind of doing that with CTE and stuff
well,
like
later
that?
in your
Like
life,
when
it
they-
affects you. I don't know how much it does when you're younger. I don't know. I've never read anything.
I mean, if you're playing ball since you were a kid.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder,
how old is
do you
he
ever
now?
wonder, like, if we're affected?
I absolutely think about that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I
I
played
think
from the time
about,
I was
like,
like 6 years old all the way through high school.
Well, like I didn't really start getting like super like depressed and super sad and shit like that. I felt like that didn't really hit me until like my later high school years.
Mhm.
And I like sort of always attributed it to like a lot of things that were going on in my life, you know, like my failures in wrestling,
Mhm.
like a lot of my relationship issues. But like I got my bell rung a few times.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Me too.
Like I was never diagnosed with a concussion, but I'm not sure how, you know, the 5 years of football that I played, of tackle football.
You only played for 5 years?
I only played for 5
Yeah,
years.
dude, I played for 12.
Right. Yeah, I didn't play until I got into my 7th year.
7th grade?
Yeah, 7th grade, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's scary to think about that. Like, I think that, I mean, we got out early. We only played through high school.
Yeah.
I don't think it's long term. It's not a thing, but just like the idea that what if that is something that brought that onto you? Like, that's scary.
Yeah.
I don't think kids should be allowed to play tackle football till they're like, I don't know, like 14 or something. I don't know.
Do you, like,
I wish I knew more about the science.
Do you feel like that's like something that should be mandated? Like there should be,
I think
it should be illegal?
if there is hard scientific proof about what it can do to you, absolutely I do. Yeah, I would say if you want to play football, play flag football until a certain age.
'Cause I don't think like as a parent, like once I become a parent, like I don't think that I would let my kids play tackle football until a certain age.
Yeah, I think till a certain. I wouldn't stop them.
I would probably
overall.
make them wait until high school.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. When you're in high school, you can play.
Yeah.
But
Like,
even
because there's different avenues to play.
Yeah, you
different
can play flag
forms-
football.
Yeah, flag
Yeah,
football,
absolutely.
Stuff like that, right?
There should be more of that.
Yeah. So I'd recommend that. Like I also like the idea of like sports as a developmental tool for children.
Mhm.
You know, like I think that it's
You
like,
can learn a lot from playing
Exactly.
sports,
You learn a lot.
especially like team sports help you a lot with social stuff.
right, but you also learn a lot about yourself and, you know, putting yourself through struggle and overcoming adversity and, you know, how much work it takes to be good at something.
Mhm.
You know, like that's the one of the predominant references I have in, you know, like in trying to learn piano and stuff like that. Like I look back at my time in wrestling and I'm like, I used to spend an hour and a half 5 times a week,
Mhm.
you know, working
Drilling.
on a craft.
Mhm.
And even that didn't get me to a spot where I, you know, could even get into states.
Mhm.
So, you know, like that, you know, it puts in perspective how much work has to go into a craft in order to be good at it. And I would,
Why do you think I'm so good at Madden?
I would recommend, like, I don't know. The more I think about like my like kids and
Future
having kids and
children,
stuff,
yeah.
future children, like I think that I would have them in like a team sport as well as an individual sport. You know?
Oh, I think wrestling is my brothers started wrestling when I was already in high school.
Right. And you're already kind of past that.
Yeah, and I tried it. I went with them to club once, and I did not like it. One, I'm claustrophobic, right. So the second someone lays on my head, I'm out. Fuck that. But also, it's just the learning curve on it is very hard.
Steep.
It's a steep learning curve. So I just wasn't interested.
Yeah.
But I think like seeing the way that it helped both my brothers, especially like in work ethic. My brothers are both really hard workers. Unlike me. Yeah, I think wrestling is very good for development. It's just a personal development and understanding hard work and stuff like that. And it's weird, like I look back on football and I don't know. I just really liked it. You know? I've always
never
loved
really felt like you were working.
Yeah, I've always loved football.
My junior year of playing football was fucking agonizing. I hated it.
Yeah, because you were done.
Yeah.
You were done.
I hated it. Like
I mean, J-Rod was there, and that was fun.
Yeah, but like I didn't want to be there.
You were tired of spin tackling
Like
people?
it got to a point where like I just like even during games, like Friday night.
Yeah, if you can't have fun during the game,
Friday night, I'd be like,
what
I want to go
we were just
home.
saying about Rory. If you're halfway out, you got to get out.
Yeah.
If you can't even have fun during a football game, then yeah you shouldn't be there. I almost didn't play my senior year, but it was more for personal reasons. Coach Fay didn't know I was a senior.
Right.
So when we were picking out jersey numbers, I picked 25.
Yeah.
And he walked up to me. I was sitting next to our friend Derek after a workout. And me and Derek always worked out together. And he walked up to me and he was like, hey, you got to give this other Kyle, weirdly, your jersey. And I was like, what? Why? And he was like, he's a senior. And I was like,
I'm a senior. Yeah.
I'm a senior, and I've been on the team longer than him. He just started playing this year. And I just had this really bad reaction to the coach and like very much, and I was coming off an ACL tear. So it was just like a really grueling offseason for me trying to recover and get back in shape and all this stuff. And I was just kind of like, do you even know I exist kind of thing? You know what I mean? And it was just like a bad reaction. I remember going home to my parents being really upset. And they were like, you don't have to play if you don't want to. They were very adamant about never quitting things. Like I tried to quit marching band sophomore year after I got moved up to varsity. Because after sophomore, they moved some people up to varsity for the rest of the season. And they told me I could move up. So I went home and I was like, hey, I don't have to be in marching band anymore because I'm moving up. And my parents were like, nope, you're not doing it. You made a commitment and you're going to finish the season. And I was like, I hate marching band. I don't want to do that. And they're like, I don't care. You made a commitment. And so I finished the season in marching band. I couldn't move up to varsity, which I think that is pretty instilled in me. I think seeing things through is something very strong in me. But just the idea that like I played 3 years of football through high school and he just like didn't even know. I was like, what the fuck? What's the point? But I ended up playing. Had fun. Sad senior year at the end, though, when we lost to frickin', what was it, Merritt Island, I think? We were very sad in that locker room.
Right.
I will say,
I
though,
wasn't there for him.
I still think that my senior year was the best varsity team that school's seen.
Not our junior year?
Nope. I think we would have beat them.
Yeah.
We were way more physical. It's a weird thing to compare your own high school teams to each other. That's super weird.
Yeah.
But we very much had the coach's mentality of just like grinding. They were much more sophisticated and probably a bit more talented. Dustin had a fucking cannon. But
the Dustin fucking Brett Thiessen connection was real.
Yeah. But we were just we were way tougher, I think. I don't know. Plus Tevin was unstoppable. We literally gave him the ball every play. That's literally what we did. Anyway, it's weird that's a weird thing to do. The playoffs have been hype. You hype for round 2?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Round 2 is the best round 2 of all time. That's what it's being built up as.
Really?
Yeah, you haven't heard those takes?
It's pretty fucking solid.
We've got Bucks Celtics, which we missed game 1 watching Avengers this morning, but somehow the Celtics won in like a blowout and shut Giannis down.
Yeah.
Apparently Horford was instrumental in that.
The least, like, out of the 4 options that could exist, like Bucks barely win, Celtics barely win.
Bucks blowout, Celtics blowout.
Celtics blowout. Like,
that's the least expected?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they are away too. That's in Milwaukee, so they stole home court. That's wild. I wonder what kind of adjustments Bud's going to make to try to free Giannis up.
Right.
Because Horford can guard him, man. Horford is like one of the few dudes that can slow him down. And then we caught the second half of Warriors
Not
Rockets.
only that, but like everyone surrounding us didn't really have a good game. I'm pretty sure that like there was only.
I really hope Brogdon comes back this series.
I think
Mirotic, I think, was the only. I saw Mirotic at double digits, but not. I don't think maybe Middleton did, and no one else.
I think,
yeah, that's rough.
Middleton had double digits, but
Dude,
not a lot of them.
Eric Bledsoe disappeared in the playoffs last year. He's had a great year this year, but maybe he disappears again in the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah.
We saw the second half of Warriors Rockets. That was a great second half. Warriors came home with game one in what was, I guess, kind of controversial in terms of the way the game was called, but it seemed to be consistently called at least. You know what I mean?
So we also didn't see the first half.
We didn't see the first half.
So my brother, who was
on the show.
Yeah, on the show.
They know him.
My brother Keith is adamant hater of floppers.
Okay.
And James Harden
he probably
is
hates
the
James Harden.
quintessential.
He's the king of floppers.
He's the king of floppers, right?
Flop king.
Yeah. But even he was like, these calls are not going. They're in favor of the Warriors right now. And he did see the first half. So I would have to
I didn't see anything.
See those calls.
I didn't see anything egregious in the sense that it was favoritism. I think that they could have been calling the landing zone thing on either team, but they just weren't calling it at all on anybody.
Right.
And I kind of understand it. I understand if you're an officiating crew going into a series with James Harden playing the Warriors, if you're just going to say swallow your whistle.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's super obvious, don't call it. I get that.
Yeah.
Because of James Harden's reputation.
Being like officiating is
It's so hard.
Fucking hard. Like part of me just like wants fucking Elon Musk to like invent
build some robots that can do it perfectly.
Yeah.
Hey Elon,
That
stop
can
thinking
use
about
fucking-
stop thinking about improving the world and fixing traffic.
Yeah.
Fix basketball.
Yeah.
officiating.
Going to space. No one cares about that.
We care about the Rockets, not the
Dog.
Rockets.
I want to know whether these charge calls are real or not. All right. That's what I want to know.
I want you to be able to read these players' minds and tell if they're flopping.
Also, it'd be so funny to see like players just like yelling at robots.
Yep. That'd be hysterical. Especially if like the robots had some personality.
They roll their
They had
eyes. and
really
stuff.
big T's they threw up and shit. Oh, that'd be great. And then so our other games that we're going to see tomorrow start. Yesterday started Toronto Sixers, and the Sixers got curb stomped a little bit.
Yeah.
They're going to need to make some changes, or just guys are going to have to play better. Joel's going to definitely have to play better.
Do you think Toronto's going to win the series?
Yeah, I think Toronto will win.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the Sixers should be getting blown out. That shouldn't be happening.
I agree.
And I wonder and kind of worry if it continues, if Brett Brown's going to get fired.
Yeah.
I like Brett Brown. He seems like a cool dude.
A lot of Philly fans don't.
He seems like a cool dude. He's a great interview. He's got the accent. He's been there. Like, the thing that makes it the worst is that he's been there the whole time. You know what I mean? He survived the process to this point.
Which is something that you don't see a lot of.
Exactly.
Like,
and then there's
Suns,
a very good
a
chance.
A majority of like tanking teams will be like the Suns, where they'll go through all of these
coach after coach
tanking
after coach
seasons.
after coach.
Even the Magic did that for a while.
And there's a good chance that
finally got one.
That he's just not the guy to get them over the final hump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think there's a lot of issues, man.
There seems to be, and it's part of it you can chalk up to the amount of time he's had, right? He hasn't had a lot of time to fit all these pieces together. Mm-hmm. I think that the entire starting lineup's only been healthy like 13 games together.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But, and you have like all of these different fucking players that have just been
filtering in and out.
Even if all of them were healthy for the exact, like they still wouldn't have had enough time together.
Yeah. Basically, the All-Star break after.
And like I think this is so like I'm seeing this a lot with like the Orlando Magic right now. Is like how beneficial consistency is going to be to this team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from front office, head coach, having the same roster pieces, having the same system.
Yeah, you said it's the first time it's ever happened for Aaron Gordon, right?
Yeah, Aaron Gordon. This is the first season that he's ever had in the NBA where he's going to have the same head coach from season to season.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And he's like
Devin Booker's never had that.
And on top of that, he's had changes in front office.
changes in team philosophy
he's had
and stuff.
his own contract that he's had to worry about,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not he's going to get extended during a restricted free agency and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
crazy.
So, he's like, this is the first season where I just don't have to worry about anything,
Yep.
and I can
just
focus on my game.
Yo, Justice Winslow, phase 4 of the shift. Get hype. Yeah, there's big questions about the Sixers just philosophically and fit-wise and everything. It'll be interesting to see how this series goes and what that entails for the future of the team. Like, if they get blown out 4 games, Jimmy probably leaves. Maybe. They might fire Brett Brown. I don't know, man. They could make some big changes. They might trade Ben.
Out of their big unrestricted free agents, the two, Jimmy
Toby
Butler,
and Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Who would you rather have on that team?
On that team, Toby.
I would agree with you.
On that team, Toby. On the Heat, Jimmy.
I would agree with you.
Which is why I want Jimmy to leave and Hassan and Goran to opt out.
Yeah.
I think if you were starting a team from scratch and you could pick from those 2 dudes, you would want Jimmy. That's not even necessarily true because Jimmy's kind of nuts. But I think certain teams you would want Jimmy. I think Toby has a little bit more of a puzzle piece play style where you can fit him into different teams a lot easier. And that's why I think he fits best on the Sixers team.
He's a better shooter than Jimmy.
That's true. He is a better shooter than Jimmy.
One thing that they really need.
Yep. Dude, if they get swept 4-0 in all blowouts and fire Brett Brown, they might trade Ben. They might. I don't know, man.
Elton Brand's got a fucking
He's got
tough
a tough job. Yeah. He's got a lot to figure out.
Because even he might get fired, dude.
He hasn't been there long, but he came in and swung for the fences.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like he probably did that at the owner's demands. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Probably. Well, you brought up the Suns. Igor Kokoshkov got fired. Nailed that pronunciation, by the way.
Yeah.
I
don't
this
know if
is
you did.
the
You could
no.
be
I
lying,
did.
right?
I did. I know I did.
Okay.
He is the 4th Suns coach in a row, I think, to get fired after 1 season. How insane is that? Is Robert Sarver trying to win some sort of proverbial fight with James Dolan for being the worst owner in the NBA?
They made a bet.
Yeah, which one of us can be more hated by our franchise's fan base?
Yeah, man, I have no idea. It's something that I saw with the Magic for a while,
Yep.
and I saw it with football as well because we had so many different head coaches from year to year.
In high school?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And I was just like, man, it would be
All the
really
turnover.
fucking nice if we just had some consistency here with coaches.
Yep.
And the fact that we're just rattling through these head coaches, it's really fucking
Got to learn something new every season.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now imagine that at a professional level. Oof, jeez, Louise. Yeah, the Suns seem dysfunctional. But at the same time, do you think it might be this might be a hard reset? They hired James Jones as full-time GM and they say we need to just make a move where he's the guy now and we need to let him bring in his coach and just let them do their thing.
Yeah, because they're trying to bring in the Phillies.
They want Monty Williams, which I said this to you earlier in the week. If you fire Kokoshkov, a guy who was a highly sought-after Spurs assistant, and you hired him last year, and you give up on him after 1 season, and you do it because you want Monty Williams, if you don't get Monty Williams, if you let the Lakers beat you to him, you failed. You've got to get that guy if he's the one that you want. I don't know anything about Monty Williams. I don't know enough about the coaching trees of the NBA.
Neither do I.
But just philosophically speaking, you can't let that. Although apparently Ty Lue has left emotional resonance in his meetings with the Lakers, so probably just walked in and talked about how much he loves LeBron. So
why not?
I feel like they should hire Ty Lue.
They should.
Yeah. I think Ty Lue is a better coach than people think. 2, if you know LeBron likes him, hire him. What are you doing? Too many people in LA don't like LeBron. It weirds me out.
Strange.
It's really weird. And you mentioned it. We were talking about it last night. And it's the Kobe stan bug. But
it's just it's everyone's sort of leftover memory of having arguments with LeBron fans over who's better, Kobe or LeBron, and obviously that. Standing in for Kobe's caliber of player led to their own hatred of LeBron, and I think you're just seeing the residual of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of whack. It's just like
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Why can't you like more than one person? Why can't you like Marvel and DC?
It's like okay, I'm not a huge fan of James Harden. If the Magic had a chance to get James
Yeah,
Harden,
you fucking want him on your team. Of course.
that'd be fucking dope.
Yo, I've seen some people making some fucking hardcore takes about the Thunder and tracking all the way back to the Harden trade.
Right.
And basically being like, I think Zach Lowe talked about it this week, where he was like, I think that the Thunder had to make a decision between Russell and Harden, and they chose Russell, and I think they chose wrong. And that's like wild to think about.
Right.
Like all the success they've had, they've made championship runs. Russell's won MVP. Their fan base loves them, loves Russ. Russell is beloved in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea that maybe they could have been more successful if they had chosen Harden, that's interesting. I don't know if it's right.
What if we see like some kind of like resurgence from Russ?
I think we could for sure.
Right. Like where he
like
just
he might have
becomes-
just had a really down year shooting. He's never been a great shooter,
Right.
but like maybe he just had an extra down year.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I like Russ.
I do too.
I like the passion. Obviously, he can go over the top, but it's like Odell Beckham Jr. Like anyone that's passionate can kind of explode a little too much sometimes.
It's like the double-edged sword of having that kind of passion.
Yeah.
You know, like Michael Carter Williams has a lot of that in him, where like, you know, that fire that he has in him, like fucking led to our success when we brought him in to the team. But like it can also lead to, you know, you storming at the refs and yelling at them when you have a bloody nose.
And I think that, like, I think more than anything, see, like, I obviously, you know, me and you love Billy Donovan for what he did for the Gators, right? Mm-hmm. We have this, like, you know, thanks for winning those chips, Billy. But at the same time, I think if there's one change that the Thunder would need to make, it's not Russ. It's somebody that can control him. You know what I mean? They would need a coach that can say, Russ, you're taking too many of these clanky mid-range. You need to stop. They need someone that can get into his head about what is a good shot. Because that's his biggest issue. It's not that shooting, it's the choice of shot.
Right.
You know what I mean? He can hit threes. He's not incapable. He just takes too many bad ones.
Yeah.
He takes too many pull-up mid-range jumpers that he shouldn't be taking, especially when he's cold, because he fully believes that he can shoot himself out of slumps, I think. He's so supremely confident, which is why he's so good. It's a double-edged sword, right? Yeah. His passion and his confidence is his strength, and he's like Michael Scott.
Yeah.
His strengths are his weaknesses. Yeah. There's one more series. We're talking about the series. Blazers, baby. Blazers Nuggets.
This is the one that I'm least.
It's like the lamest series, but Dame's been so good that I'm going to watch the shit out of it.
And I also just like, for whatever reason, like I
can't get on the Nuggets train.
I can't.
Why?
I don't know, man.
They're fun to watch, dude.
They're fun. I guess like they're fun to watch when Jokic is doing crazy stuff.
You didn't watch this. You walked out for the second half. They were fucking dope in the second half last night.
Dog, every time I watch them, Jokic isn't doing crazy stuff. So I'm like, this is boring me. I'm not going to watch this anymore. So I just stopped watching.
No respect, dude. No respect, no patience.
Every time I tune into other teams, I always see like why people love them so much, and it just doesn't happen when I watch them.
Well, I think part of it is that Jokic is actually not as flashy as you think based on highlights. Jokic is basically, he just gets the ball in the post and he does really weird, funky post moves and the ball goes in for the most part.
Right.
And then like 3 or 4 times a game, he throws an insane pass. A lot of it, you know, he gets these triple doubles, but a lot of it is like I'm in the post and I hit a cutter. Well, I'm in the post and I kick out to an open 3-point shooter.
I don't think that I'm that much of a casual fan where something has to be completely ridiculous in order for me to actually appreciate the sport. Like I enjoy when like there was a couple times when Jokic, it wasn't a crazy pass, but there was a couple times when he passed cross court when he was posting up and he had like an open Jamal Murray or something like that.
Dude, Jamal Murray was stones down the fourth quarter last night. Oh my God, he hit some big shots.
Yeah.
The Spurs started off so awful. They had like 13 points in the first quarter and they came roaring back in the fourth quarter. DeMar finally picked it up in the second half. LaMarcus was playing amazing defense on Jokic, just shutting him down in the post, getting these really hard rebounds. And then they cut it to 2, I think. And then Jamal just hit this just nasty one-legged fadeaway jumper. basically the dagger. It was a really good fourth quarter of that game, of Game 7. Yeah, but this second round is going to be hype.
I agree with you. Although, like, I want the Blazers to fucking get to the finals, dude.
To the finals?
Not the finals, the conference finals.
I think they will. Dude, Dame v. Steph or Dame v. Harden? Give me that. I've said this. It is not out of the realm of possibility to me that the Warriors and the Rockets beat each other up for 7 games, and the Blazers are there waiting, and they feel good and rested, and they win. It's not. I'm just saying,
crazy.
Charles Barkley might not be as stupid as we thought.
That would be
in that
crazy.
prediction. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Steph and Clay's ankles are already messed up.
Right.
Pray for them ankles. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And the way that Dame is playing, that dude is disgusting.
Is it surprising you how touchable the Warriors are in these playoffs? No. It is me.
No, because I think they're the shallowest team they've ever had.
Their lack of depth is what's killing them. Really,
their best 2 bench players are Iggy and Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston, and both of them are not as good as they've been.
Right.
And that's their best 2 bench.
You still got Jordan Bell, right?
Jordan Bell doesn't get minutes.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't play.
Wow.
Can't shoot, dog.
I understand that.
They don't have anyone that can shoot on their bench. Besides Jonas
McKinney?
I don't think he's that good of a shooter. Jonas, what's his face? The dude that went in the ocean with Clay.
Jerebko.
Jonas Jerebko, yeah. Clay got to go back in that ocean to heal up.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like when you watch the Warriors and they go into their substitution lineups, and it's like, wait, they only have one dude on the court that can shoot right now. Because they basically have 3 guys on the whole team that can shoot. Steph, Clay, and KD. They just so happen to be 3 of the best shooters of all time. It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're weird. They're weird. They're fun. KD's been incredible so far in the playoffs. He's been just unstoppable.
See,
and
that's
the Rockets don't really have anyone that can guard him.
That's one thing that kind of leads me to believe that I think the Warriors are going to have this bright shining moment of a dynasty, but I don't think they're going to have quite the dynasty that a Spurs kind of have. Where there's not this consistent.
No one has 22 years of consistency.
I understand that. But I understand that they are the soul.
The brightest flames burn out the fastest.
right.
Let me throw some cliches at you, dog.
That's true. But I still don't think that it's incapable for a franchise to try and achieve that, right?
No,
to
absolutely.
try and achieve okay.
Well, I also would make the argument that
we're one of the greatest teams of all time right now with Steph, Clay and KD,
Dre,
right? We have the best regular season
record of all time a couple years ago.
Yeah, there's a potential chance for them winning 4 in a row. Is it 4 in a row?
4 out of 5, not 4 in a row.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of 2016. That's right.
This would be a 3-peat if they won this year.
But you should be able to simultaneously, it seemed like that's what they were kind of doing for a bit, right? Trying to.
But then they added KD. It became different.
No, even because they got Jordan Bell after KD, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But they through cast consideration.
Oh, because it kind of seems like Jordan Bell is the next Draymond.
Yeah. Kind of. They were trying to set up the future a little bit.
I don't think they're not trying that. I just think it's hard.
I agree.
Obviously, finding Steph Curry's is fucking hard.
but even beyond, because look at what the Spurs are doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi wasn't Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, or Tim Duncan. It wasn't
he was the next step.
All they did was, they drafted someone that they
developed
believed
him.
in, and they developed him, and then he became an incredible player. Same thing with Dejounte Murray and Derek White, and
Derek White got shut down after that big game.
Right, but
Torrey Craig.
But still, he was undrafted, right? Was in the G League?
Something. Yeah, he's definitely in the G League. Yeah, man. Pop special though.
True. This is
Yeah.
Easier said than done,
And
obviously.
I don't think they're not trying to do that. I just think that like it's just hard to do. And like I don't think that they could win the finals this year and KD could leave and they still could win next year. They still have great players and they could potentially even out their roster a little more with KD gone. You know what I mean? Not that they'd be better, but they could be a little bit more even throughout.
Right.
rather than being so top heavy. But KD's been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This is just nuts. I think it will be Raptors, and my heart says Bucks, but my brain says Celtics. But I think I might be swayed by the blowout today.
Right.
It just seems like they're the one team that matches up in a way
With the
that
Bucks
can mess with what the Bucks want to do.
Uh-huh.
And it's because of Al Horford, of all people. Al freaking Horford. He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it will be... I think it'll be Warriors Blazers. I think the Rockets aren't as good as people think. I think they rely too much on unsustainable stuff.
As much as we like talk shit about the Rockets and and James Harden and like the philosophy that the Rockets have, like this like hyper analytical, like we're going to live and die by the science of this game. Like as much as I kind of disagree with it, I am glad that they exist.
Oh, there are parts of it I do agree with. I don't think they're necessarily wrong. I just think they do it in a weird way. Like the amount of step backs they take and the amount of isolation stuff they do. Like that's what's weird to me.
See, okay.
The fact that they rely heavily on James Harden taking like 10 step back threes a game is completely insane.
Well, like let's take last year's conference finals, right? When they were going against the Warriors,
and they
had that game 7 where they missed 27 threes in a row,
but
right?
over 2 games.
Their philosophy was, we're going to keep taking these threes.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I disagree with that. Yeah. I think that there's a point where you miss 15 threes in a row.
Get to the rim.
You fucking switch this shit up.
Get to the rim, dude.
You have to do something different. Like you have to, as Brett Brown says, throw your calculator away. Yeah, and like I think that there's science. Like I love like
analytics.
How it's analytics and how it's influenced the game and how it's made how it's changed the evaluation of players and how it's changed the game. I really enjoy fucking people taking a lot of threes. I really like.
It's fun.
I love the transition game. I love
watching prime Warriors when they're hot is like the most exhilarating thing in sports. It's insane.
But I would also argue that the Warriors are very balanced in a way that
they are. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like the Warriors brought about the modern game, but they don't actually do it to the extent that other teams do. They aren't as three dependent as people think they are.
Yeah.
They're actually very balanced.
They're just so efficient at shooting threes.
Because they have 3 of the best shooters
the
of all
Nets
time.
shoot more threes than the Warriors.
A lot of teams do. They're like a middle of the pack team in shooting threes. And then you got like the Spurs who shoot the least threes in the league, but shoot it at the highest clip.
Yeah.
Of course. It's the most Spurs thing ever. Yeah, man. But yeah, the Rockets they are unapologetically entirely analytical. And it's wild to me that they like James Harden consistently has days like today where he shoots 30%, but he gets to the line so much with his nonsense that it ends up, looking okay. He had probably around 30 today, I would guess. Probably 25 to 30 points. Shooting 30% from the field. And he's not going to get talked about the same way that Russ would when Russ shoots 35%. It's weird. And then it becomes like he's not the only one on the team doing that. Chris Paul does it. Chris Paul's a mid-range god. Let that dude do what he's great at.
Yeah.
I just don't really like them that much.
The Rockets?
There's something about them, man.
But like there's
I respect them. I respect James Harden. I think he's amazing.
Yeah.
I just don't like them.
Okay.
It's just, and I like the Warriors. I think they're so fun. I love Steph. I love Clay. I don't mind Draymond. Draymond has a kind of a Russ thing to me. He's so passionate that I respect it. He's just he complains a lot, but Chris Paul complains just as much as he does. Like
I think this is like a characteristic of what makes it such a great second round
Mm-hmm.
for the NBA playoffs is like there's so many different outcomes that I would be so excited about.
Yeah, there's
right?
a lot of matchups that would be fun.
You know,
Raptors playing Warriors or Rockets would be fun, or Blazers.
or Bucks.
If the Blazers get to
Like-
the finals, to me that's insanely hype. It's
Uh-huh.
like that's like a Cinderella story. Like the story, there will be a 30 for 30 made about the Blazers getting swept by the Pelicans last year and coming back and making the
Well,
finals this
I mean,
year.
this is like the easiest comparison to draw it to, but Virginia.
Yeah,
Virginia
it's exactly
Cavaliers.
like Virginia
Like-
losing to a 16 seed and then winning the championship. It's
Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was like the first thing that popped into my mind. I was
Mhm.
like, if they get to the finals, like this is, and like I was like, I thought about this a lot after that 50-point game that Dame dropped.
Yep.
When he hit that 37-footer, I like immediately thought about Virginia, and I thought about because I was thinking about Virginia before when they actually did win the national championship. I was thinking about
How that's going to be a 30 for 30.
I was thinking about them about that story about that narrative.
It's an
of
amazing
them.
narrative.
It's a
It's a movie.
But I also like
That'll be a movie one day.
I thought about how much that impacted them, right? Like the losing and
Mhm.
being embarrassed,
Mhm.
right? Like the shame that comes about of
Shame.
being the only team in NCAA basketball history to lose to a 16 seed.
One seed to
Or-
lose to a 16 seed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how that influenced.
And then they were down at halftime this year
yeah.
to a 16 seed again. Imagine how they felt at that halftime. Hey, hey, onions.
But it's the same thing with Portland.
Yeah.
It's like you see how much like
Yeah, they were the
the
3 seed last year.
The incremental changes that Dame has made to his game, and
Dude.
it
He learned how to overcome things that were exposed as weaknesses last year.
I saw-
He took time to learn how to overcome those weaknesses.
I saw a post on Reddit, something about how like Dame's going to be like one of those players, like kind of like a Chris Webber, where you like he sort of gets overshadowed when you think about like the best players of all time, and the best players of their era.
Because Steph Curry exists and because James Harden exists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like if
I don't know, man. I think there's a version of the world where Dame could be an MVP winner. I think it exists.
I hope so.
He's going to be top 5 this year in MVP voting, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it'll be Giannis, Harden, Paul George, Jokic, and him.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my guess. I don't know what order. I think the top 2 are obvious, but the next 3, I don't know what order they might be
Yeah,
in.
imagine the Blazers fucking
Be awesome.
winning the championship.
They're one of those teams that you're just like, I'd be down with that. They're just likable. They've got a lot of dudes that, like Dame and CJ are just like they both have that thing where you're like, man, they're just like just good. They're good dudes, you know.
Mhm.
They're professional, but
Right.
they're not like boring.
Yeah.
Like Dame was fucking stoned as shit with that shot, and then he waved them goodbye. Like they still have fun with it while being professional. Like there's a line you can straddle there where you don't have to be a boring cookie cutter quarterback, and you also don't have to be completely nuts.
I forgot who. It might have been somebody on the Ringer, but they were comparing the difference between Russ and Dame and how like one's fire and one's ice.
Yeah. I think that was on the low post.
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Yeah.
It might have been Dan Devine.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah.
But
Or no,
yeah,
I think it was
seeing the Blazers-
Arnovitz. I think it was Arnovitz.
Yeah, but the Blazers like getting to the finals and winning the finals
Be interesting.
or something like that. That would be like so fucking nuts, especially after what happened with Nurkic.
Especially because
That
it's your
happened last
plural
year.
uncle,
Oh yeah,
Terry
my
Stotts.
boy, my boy, Terry Stotts.
Your plural uncle.
Yeah, man, that would be fucking.
It'd be
nuts.
cool. But like whoever, even if they got past the Warriors or the Rockets, which is going to be hard, then they've got to deal with one of these East juggernauts, and they're good, man. Especially, I think the Raptors and whoever wins the Raptors Bucks series is really good. I mean, if the Bucks make it there.
If the Bucks make it,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I mean. Yeah. Like the Celtics seem, I don't know though, they're fucking undefeated in the playoffs so far. I saw somebody say today, like, Kyrie is undefeated in the playoffs without LeBron
Right.
because he didn't play last year at all. That's silly.
So, I brought this up before the playoffs, where like you kind of like didn't give the Celtics a chance. Yeah,
I mean, I thought they'd get to the second
and
round,
I think
I thought the second round would go like 6 or 7 games. but I just don't see them like winning the finals.
Right. I don't think that they have no chance. I would still bet on the Bucks and the Raptors for the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, out of those two, I still think that the Raptors are going to get to the finals. And I think that against anybody, they could fucking take it to 7 games. I think
They could. They're super talented. They're super talented.
That and just Kawhi is a fucking monster. He is so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't see much of Kawhi before these 2 years. You know what I mean?
You don't remember him on the Spurs? Because he was.
I just didn't watch.
He was
basketball
basically
as much.
this.
I didn't watch basketball.
He
as
was
much
basically this. Like when he won Finals MVP, this is what he was. He's just always been.
But that was like a few years ago, right? Like
Yeah.
when he won Finals MVP. But like the 2 years that he won Defensive Player of the Year.
That's the thing,
like, I
dude.
didn't watch
He's still not fully back. Like
Right.
defensively, he's great, but he's not what he was. The dude was like, "Don't dribble near me. I'll just take it from you."
Yeah.
I know this is kind of short right now, but I really want to watch Game of Thrones. And we did like a really long Avengers episode, so I don't feel bad doing it a little short.
Okay.
So we're gonna wrap this.
Yeah, our shoutouts are also might be kind of long too. So that's
Okay.
my shoutouts kind of long.
Oh shit. Oh, that's right. I don't know if I've done this or not, but I'm gonna shout out DC Universe. I don't know if I did it or not. But
The
now
game?
that like no, oh my god, that is a game. No, their service. I might have done it before, but now that we have good internet and we're not living in a hotel, I rewatched Titans. But they just expanded their library. So not only do they have original shows, being the new season of Young Justice, which is really good, the first season of Titans, which is good. I haven't watched yet, but apparently Doom Patrol is great. People love Doom Patrol. I'm waiting until it's all done to watch it. It's apparently very weird and wacky and fun. And then the trailer for Swamp Thing just came out. They've got more shows coming, second series of shows coming, but they just expanded their
They have
platform.
a show for fucking Swamp Thing coming out?
Yeah, dude, the trailer just came out. James Wan is
Ooh.
producing it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's interesting looking.
I never actually read Swamp Thing.
Yeah, but it's
I don't know
like
why I'm so
you know
excited.
the bit though. You know what it is.
Yeah.
But they just expanded their comic book platform on it. They just added 20,000 more titles of comics. So for, whatever the price is, like $10 a month or whatever, you get all these shows, all the backlog of animated movies and TV shows like Justice League and all that kind of stuff, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, all these old animated movies. I just watched the new animated movie. It wasn't that good. Justice League versus the Fatal Five. I didn't know, it was very meh. But it was like a Bruce Timm movie, so it was the old animation style.
Mm-hmm.
It was very meh. But they just added a whole bunch of comics you can read too, so you can read all these comics for free, which is super cool. So it's definitely worth the value if you like comics and you like DC. So DC Universe is my shout out.
Okay, cool. So my shout out is an article by Tyler Tynes that was released on The Ringer.
Tynes, like Tynes?
Tynes. Tyler
Yeah.
Tynes. He's someone he's on the Ringer podcast network a lot. Really fucking interesting dude. He's an African American gentleman, Philly fan. The first podcast that I ever listened to with him, I actually didn't like him because he was talking a lot of shit about Brett Brown. Because he's a straight up Philly fan, like, and he's a reflection of what a lot of Philly fans think. But I like Brett Brown, so like I didn't enjoy that podcast as much. But on the second podcast that he was on just recently this past week, he was talking about an article that he wrote where he addressed. So this article is my shout out, and it's called "Foul Fans: NBA Players Speak Out Against Verbal Abuse in Arenas."
Oh, okay, cool. So this obviously ties into what was going on in Utah this season.
Yes,
And probably based on that other places, I would guess.
yes. So
okay.
yeah, so he talks to I think Fred VanVleet, Ekpe Udoh,
Freddie Steady. Steady Freddie. Freddie Steady. Who's that?
yeah, but he
Ekpe Udoh, interesting.
Yeah.
He seems really outspoken.
right.
Like for a dude who doesn't play.
But he also talks to I want to say like a professor of some kind of race or something, like from UCLA, I think, as well as the NBA chief securities officer. But it's a really interesting article that they have on theringer.com called "Foul Fans: NBA Players Speak Out Against Verbal Abuse in Arenas." But yeah, one of the quotes that I wanted to bring up was from Fred VanVleet, and it kind of really puts into perspective of the kind of the things that NBA players have to deal with, and the
and I would wager to guess most athletes in most sports.
But Tyler Tynes addressed this really well in his podcast, as well as this article about the paradigm that exists within the NBA and how it sort of enforces like a racialized system or a racist system. I shouldn't even say racialized, but like you have all of these white fans that are buying a ticket and therefore going to a game and feeling that because they bought a ticket, feel that the players
owe them something.
Yeah, well, owe them something, and that in a way they kind of own those
them.
players.
That's fucked
that
up.
They are that it is a form of entertainment, and they are there to entertain them, and that results in a lot of like really fucked up and racist shit, right? But Fred VanVleet gave this quote in the article. He says, "Realize that we're still people at the end of the day. It's not the zoo. And when you go to the zoo, you don't jump over the fence and taunt the tigers and shit like that."
Yeah, some people do because they're dumb.
It's real consequences behind stuff like that. That's from Fred VanVleet.
There's literally a lady who did that and got attacked by a tiger. Like,
Yeah.
what do you expect?
Yeah.
That's like if you yell at Russell Westbrook, he's gonna yell back at you. Like, it's like poking a tiger. It's kind of similar, right?
Right. Yeah, it's just
That's a
really,
human being you're insulting.
It's just a really good article. I think the professor that he talks about that specific paradigm and how she basically says that like everything goes like when everything goes according to plan and these players are doing what these white fans are expecting of them of the players, then everything's fine. But once they start acting out and becoming more of their, like they're actually, occupying their own identities and being people, and, but it's fucked up that, that in 2019 that people aren't realizing that this is still a workplace.
Yeah.
And you're entering into a person's workplace. Yeah. And
yeah, it all ties back to Kyle Korver's Players Tribune article he wrote.
He references Kyle Korver's thing.
Privilege, I think he called it. I think the title was.
Yeah. And he also, Tyler Tynes, and he was a little bit more, cast it in a good light in the article, but when in the podcast itself, he kind of talked about how, what do you,
I don't know. I don't know.
I
think I thought I saw something.
In the podcast. Tyler Tynes talks about how like Kyle Korver's like, yeah, that's fine, but it's just another example of a white person just talking, and there's not actually like a lot of action going on from any players that are white or black. So.
Okay. I would make the argument that anyone putting out an article talking about literally that thing, taking action, and not just saying things and anyone putting out their
I think that it goes.
Something.
I think that it goes further than either of us can really understand.
That's true. So. Sure. All right. Say the title of it again.
So it was called Foul Fans. Excuse me.
Because I'm not going to remember it.
Yeah, it's called
Tyler Tynes. Foul Fans.
Foul Fans. NBA players speak out against verbal abuse in arenas by Tyler Tynes, and it's on TheRinger.com. Hey,
stop being dicks to athletes. So Foul Fans by Tyler Tynes and DC Universe. Shout outs. Find ChrisMichaelStott.com for his website, read his scripts. Chris Michael Stott on Instagram. Davinwell25 for me, Twitter and Instagram. Find the show, The Chris and Kyle Show, on YouTube, on all podcasting platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram. New poll is going to be on Twitter at tcaks pod, and we'll put it up on Facebook for our poll for next month, the last spoiler episode. We're doing kind of a weird combo. John Wick 3, Parabellum, and Booksmart, movie directed by Olivia Wilde. Sort of coming-of-age comedy. So, vote wisely.
It's going to be fucking...
Yeah, we know it's going to win. But, it's fine. I'll see them both. I don't care. I really want to watch Game of Thrones, so we out.
We out. Stay weird.